Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM. Buri wese abigize ibye twatsinda burundu akarengane na ruswa. U Rwanda ruzira ruswa n'akarengane mu cyerekezo 2050. Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
Dear listener, thank you for tuning in. This is Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM, broadcasting from Kigali. Here are the news in English, brought to you by Alvin Umngali. The headlines. President Paul Kagame has commended security forces in an end-of-year message. The Rwandan government has once expressed concern over the detention of 2 citizens accused of being spies in DR Congo. Leaders and football legends around the world have paid tribute to Pelé. Mozambique will replace Kenya as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council from January 1st, 2023. We'll be back with news in detail. Thank you. Welcome back. The end-of-year message by His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of RDF to Rwanda Defense and Security Forces says, on behalf of the government of Rwanda and on my own behalf, I wish the officers, men and women of the Rwandan Defense and Security Forces and your families a Happy New Year 2023. As we approach the end of 2022, I wish to commend your exemplary service, hard work and professionalism in delivering your core duty of defending the people and territory of Rwanda and addressing pressing issues of human security as the bedrock of sustainable peace. Beyond our borders, Rwanda's defense and security forces have participated in tackling challenges in partner countries in Africa through bilateral cooperation, particularly in fighting terrorism in Mozambique and contributing to peace and stability in the Central African Republic. Our peacekeepers deployed under United Nations missions continue to be good ambassadors of Rwanda, consistently representing the best values that we stand for. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to all of you for making our country proud. It is not easy to be separated from loved ones at this time of the year. For those deployed away from home, Rwanda appreciates the invaluable spirit of dedication. I pay tribute to our departed comrades who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our nation and the world in 2022. I offer my heartfelt condolences to the families of the fallen and assure you that the leaders and people of Rwanda stand firmly with you. The beginning of a new year is an opportunity to renew your pledge to protect our country against all threats so that we can sustain Rwanda's hard-earned economy and social progress. Let me conclude once again with best wishes for the new year. May God bless Rwanda. The Rwandan government has once again expressed concern over the detention of 2 citizens accused of being spies in the Democratic Republic of Congo. 2 Rwandan nations, Juvenal Nshimiyimana and Moses Mushabe, who work for a Geneva-based non-profit organization, were arrested in August this year by the Congolese Nation Intelligence Agency, ANR. In a statement to the BBC on Friday, December 30th, Yolande Makolo, the government spokesperson, said Nshimiyimana and Mushabe's detention by Congolese officials was an example of how leaders unable to account for their own failures point fingers at outside sinister forces. Makolo added that Rwanda is deeply concerned about the fate of two Rwandan citizens, Dr. Juvenal Nshimiyimana and Moses Mushabe, both staff of African Health Development Organization, detained in Kinshasa since August 30th, 2022. Nshimiyimana is the country director of AHDO in DR Congo. He previously served as the acting country director of UNAIDS. Mushabe is the provincial head of AHDO in Chikpaka, the capital of Kasai province in the central southern part of the vast country. In November, Foreign Minister Dr. Vincent Biruta wrote to his Congolese counterpart Christophe Lutundula asking for the unconditional release of the two Rwandans. Earlier this week, the Congolese government paraded 4 men, including Nshimiyimana and Mushabe, accused of being Rwandan spies and of having infiltrated the Congolese armed forces and the ruling class. Makolo said this paradigm of alleged spies is straight from a playbook that we recognize all too well. Leaders unable to account for their own failures will seek to fill ethnic divisions and point the finger at sinister outside forces. She continued saying, nobody in the Great Lakes region is under any illusion as to where this leads or how great the toll is. The international community should take note and hold the DRC officials accountable for this escalation. A fatal accident involving a Rwandan bus and a Kenyan one in western Uganda early Friday morning has killed at least 6 people. According to a report by NTV Uganda, the Rwandan bus belongs to Volcano Company while the Kenyan one belongs to Oxygen Company. The two buses reportedly collided head-on in Ruchiga district around 4 a.m. on Friday. So far, 6 people, including the 2 bus drivers, are confirmed dead. More than 30 other people were injured. By press time, territorial police in Ruchiga district had arrived on the scene and were trying to handle the situation, especially evacuating victims to nearby health facilities. The operations manager at Volcano Express, Agaba Andrew Jaffet, has told Igihe that they have so far learned that 3 people, including a driver, a co-driver, and another passenger next to their seats, died in the accident. Ugandan police have announced that the accident claimed the lives of 4 Rwandans, a Kenyan and a Burundian. The deceased include the driver of Volcano's bus, Alphonse Murara, Amido David, the driver of Oxygen's bus, Mustafa Ishinjiro, Claude Gakuru, Etienne Hakizimana, and another female Burundian passenger. Ugandan police has also revealed that at least 40 injured passengers were rushed to Lotom Health Center in Muhanga town. According to the New Vision, Elimet, the spokesperson of Kigezi Regional Police, say that the preliminary cause of the accident was too much fog, where they couldn't easily see what was ahead of them, hence collided. The deceased have been taken to the mortuary of Kabale Hospital, and they sent another bus to carry non-affected passengers as soon as they learned about the accident. A Swedish court has reduced to 24 years the life sentence handed to Stanislas Banenande, aged 64, for his role in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis, in which more than 1 million people were killed. As of December 22nd, Banenande, who was found guilty of genocide and crimes against humanity in 2012, had served 11 years in custody. According to Swedish media, the Örebro District Court said Banenande showed good behavior before and after his conviction, and his risk of recidivism was low, hence a lenient sentence. Recidivism, one of the most fundamental concepts in criminal justice, refers to a person's relapse into criminal behavior, often after the person receives sanctions or undergoes intervention for previous crime. Prisoners in Sweden get released after serving 2/3 of their sentences, and Banenande will potentially be released in 5 years. He had earlier applied to have his sentence suspended. In 2013, the Stockholm District Court said Banenande had an informal role as a leader among the Interahamwe militia in Kibuye Prefecture and was involved in arranging massacres of the Tutsi in area including Nyamishaba School, a Catholic church, the Hotel Home Saint-Jean, and Gatkwaro Stadium. The court said Maninande also shot at people with an automatic rifle, but he denied the charges. Starlink is a satellite broadband service run by Elon Musk's private space company, SpaceX, based in California, United States of America. Its development began in 2015 with a prototype satellite launched into orbit in 2018. In the years since, SpaceX has deployed thousands of Starlink satellites in 2 constellations across dozens of successful launches. As of December 2022, it consists of over 3,300 mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit, which communicates with designated ground transceivers. The first 2 countries on the African continent confirmed to be getting Starlink are Mozambique and Nigeria, and it will be launched in Rwanda in the first quarter of 2023. Other countries where it's stated to be rolled out include Angola, Eswatini, Gabon, Kenya, Tanzania, and Malawi. The launch of Starlink in the first quarter of 2023 will surely come with many benefits to internet users in Rwanda. It will provide high-speed broadband internet with low latency. Starlink latency ranges between 20 ms to 40 ms, and the latency of conventional satellite sometimes goes above 300 ms worldwide, unlike conventional satellite internet. The higher the latency, the faster the internet, and the lower the latency, the faster the internet. We'll be back shortly with international news.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Mozambique will replace Kenya as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council from January 1st, 2023. The country was elected in June this year by 192 votes. Joining Mozambique are also Ecuador, Japan, Malta, and Switzerland. All 5 countries taking up non-permanent seats for the next 2 years. Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi has called in the past for 2 permanent positions for Africa in the Security Council. The fight against terrorism is also high on the agenda for the Mozambican president. Since 2017, the country has faced extremist violence in the oil and gas rich northern province of Cabo Delgado. An estimated 4,000 victims have lost their lives as a result of the violence. There are an estimated 1 million internally displaced individuals, some of whom are living in camps and unofficial settlements. Reactions have been pouring in from around the world to the death of Brazilian soccer legend Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known by his nickname Pelé, who died of cancer in Brazil at the age of 82. His grace, athleticism, and mesmerizing moves transfixed players and fans. Many influential people had something to say about him. Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria, said, "May he rest in peace. He led a good life and made a huge contribution to the development of global football in particular and world sport in general. He had an enormous generosity of spirit and humility despite his greatness as a footballer and a sportsman. He also built bridges across nations, races, and even religions. He was a UN ambassador of goodwill. Pelé is gone, but the world will never forget him." William Ruto, the president of Kenya, said, "Pelé made millions of young boys in the global South dream. His profile as a global icon of sporting excellence and high athletic achievement was an inspirational model which encouraged young men to transcend their limitations and defy all economic, social, cultural, and political barriers. His legacy extends beyond the soccer pitch, the goal he scored, and all his other exploits beyond soccer itself, where his charisma and talent made wonderful things possible to authentic global leadership of a unique, talismanic kind. May his soul rest in peace." The Brazilian president-elect Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said, "I had a privilege that younger Brazilians didn't have. I saw Pelé play live at Morumbi Stadium. I saw Pelé give a show, because when he got the ball, he always did something special, which often ended in a goal. I confess that I was angry with Pelé because he was always massacred. My Corinthians, but first and foremost, I admired him. Few Brazilians took the name of our country as far as he did." The U.S. President Joe Biden said, "For a sport that brings the world together like no other, Pelé's rise from humble beginnings to soccer legend is a story of what is possible. Today, Jill and I's thoughts are with his family and all of those who loved him." Former U.S. President Barack Obama said Pelé was one of the greatest to ever play the beautiful game, and as one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, he understood the power of sports to bring people together. Our thoughts are with his family and everyone who loved and admired him. And last but not least, the FIFA president Gianni Infantino said Pelé had a magnetic presence, and when you were with him, the rest of the world stopped. His life is about more than football. He changed perceptions for the better in Brazil, in South America, and across the world. His legacy is impossible to summarize in words. Today we all mourn the loss of the physical presence to our dear Pelé, but he achieved immortality a long time ago, and therefore he will be with us for eternity. An arrest warrant was issued in Botswana for former President Ian Khama for the possession of illegal firearms on Thursday, December 29th. The judge issued orders that Mr. Khama should be arrested on site. The former leader is believed to be in South Africa, where he went into self-imposed exile in November 2021. Mr. Khama left office in 2018 after 2 5-year terms. The arrest warrant follows Khama's failure to appear in court earlier this year. He faced 14 charges, including allegations of money laundering and handling stolen property. The warrant issued only regards the possession of 5 illegal firearms. Under Botswana law, illegal possession of guns could lead to maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. In the past, Ian Khama, the son of Botswana's first president, told local media house Meggie that he would welcome an extradition request since it will give him the chance to expose what he called lies and fabrications by current President Mogwetsi Masisi. Khama had respected the ruling Botswana's People's Party BDP tradition of handing over power to his successor Masisi a year before the 2019 general elections. He clashed it with Masisi months after stepping down over certain policy position and ultimately backed opposition candidates in the nation's elections. And that brings us to the end of today's program. Let us look at the headlines once more. President Paul Kagame has commended security forces in an end-of-year message. The Rwandan government has once again expressed concerns over the detention of 2 citizens accused of being spies in the DR Congo. Leaders and football legends around the world have paid tribute to Pelé. Mozambique will replace Kenya as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council from January 1st, 2023. This was Alvin Umngali, and on behalf of Radio Imanzi, we wish you a wonderful year of 2023. Stay safe and have a wonderful night.